Zanu production policy. Corporate Vice President Corporate Secretary for Administration, by Ignatius Jumbo, Comrade Commissar, the party, Comrade Zanu, PF National Secretary for Youth Affairs, Ukurai Tokare, Ukura, Comrade members of the Zanu PF Youth League National Executive, Comrade Zanu PF Youth League Provincial Chairpersons, Comrade Zanu PF Youth League Provincial Executive, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends. I am delighted to welcome you all. Indeed, it's you who welcomes me, but I also must welcome you all to the first meeting of the National Assembly of the Youth League, held after the 2014 6th National People's Congress. This is your first meeting of the National Assembly. I take it. Indeed, it is always important to interact with you, the youth leadership of our Revolutionary Party. Since you are the vanguard of our Revolutionary Party, we expect the youth to remain vigilant, energetic, disciplined, patriotic, and selfless. I well remember the happenings that we witnessed towards our national people's Congress. I well remember the stand that the Youth League took at its meeting when, for no reason whatever, they found themselves without resources. They came to me. I was also astounded. What had the organizing committee done? There was no real preparations. And the Secretary for Administration, Bamtas, appeared ill. I said, what have you been doing? Where are the resources? You can't feed the youth. Who then shall you feed? It was then my wife and I thought we should be. And what value would be greater than our making a little contribution? So we made that contribution. And we made it in the spirit of what we had, all of us who participated in the national struggle, especially those of us who were in the bush, were doing. We are one with you. It doesn't matter what post you have, whether you're at the top or at the bottom. When it comes to matters of food and welfare, all of you must, when there is something shared, when there is nothing for everybody. But there should not be deception. Vakuachimika, otherwise vakuchiripo. But I was glad that the youth stood together. There might have been little differences, but we stood together. It was then I got to know what was happening. That they wanted you to stop, so you could complain, so you could take a stand. They thought that stand would be a stand against someone. Unbeknown to me at the time, there had been secret organizations, secret meetings towards the organization to make the Congress eventually failed to start by the youths failing, then the women failing, and then the Congress failed. But no, you came to me and revealed what the problem was. That's what you say. Now, that is not the policy or the attitude nor the practice, nor the tradition of Zanu. We stand together. We help each other. We share advantages and share disadvantages. That is what you are. All the disadvantages you are confronting, you may think it's because you are being denied and denied deliberately. But I tell you, some is, and most, I think, of it is because of just ineptitude, inefficiency, and failure to cope with the programs. Some find it a bit too overwhelming to be both top leaders of the party and leaders in government as ministers. And of course, they also have their lives to lead. But I promise you that we shall look into all those problems you are confronted with, and to the best of our ability, we will try to solve them. Perhaps the best way, and interrupt my speech to you, the best in order to address what you regard as the most fundamental areas that are on our mind, that are affected. The best way is to have a committee that we shall work with province by province and nationally also, that will give us, which will be a standing committee to remind us all the time, although we have the minister who is in charge of this affairs, but perhaps he may not be meeting with the persons, the leaders in government who are in charge of the various sectors, or you may be finding it too much work. And we are going to help them. So we'll have a committee, a different committee that is in that particular ministry. But the committee coming from here is not done. That is our regard as an action committee, a committee to try and provide practical answers to some of your problems. The land, for example, we want that committee to address that. But then, you don't just address the issue of the land. It is necessary to know the persons in need of the land. It's not every youth who want to be a farmer. Not every youth who want to be, say, find himself as a miner. And Some things are easier done individually, others are better done by partnerships, clubs, or boards. But I wish to challenge the youth and the generality of our young people to continuously empower themselves with education, developing skills. You need skills. Even if you are going to do something, you need to know what is required to produce effectively the maize crop, produce effectively cotton crop, produce effectively the tobacco crop. And that is why we want that education, which is both academic and technical, practical. An integral part of that education should include the history of our market. You must always have the history. And I'm glad that you recite that in your speeches. The history of our struggle, the history of our givenness is dedication of our commitment without surrender. Where you are right, you don't give. When you are right, you continue. Because you're being guided by principles, and I am often quoted to do what people used to say about principles. It is right to fight for your country. You do not give that up because someone has come with money. And say I was here in money. You don't. You have sacrificed the principle if you do that. So Gruber used to say, you don't sacrifice the principle on the altar of expediency, on the altar of opportunism. No, that's opportunism. You're an opportunist if you do that. You say, no, get away with your money. My land comes first. I'm fighting for my land. That's the principle of God. The struggle is calling to say a person, give myself up. It means death, life or death. You agree? Now that's the story of five young men at the university. They agree we are going for the struggle. Yuri is late, God bless. Zanu is alive. My OA is late. God bless him. The Valley is alive. Mitzi committed suicide. They agreed to come and join the struggle from the university. 4 of them came, but Ms. Zanu is died recently. That is why he was not making progress, even as he was chairperson. But you're an opportunist. Opportunist, a person who agrees that he should form a party at the instance of our imperialist enemies, the party to oppose the revolution that was taking place, to oppose Zanu, a person who will not recognize or record that sanctions will injure not just Zanu but his own people, his own relatives, and agree that sanctions will be imposed and ask for more sanctions to be imposed on us. And you wonder whether the people who actually vote for MDC have a real sense to recognize what their interests are. So there is that difference, and it comes, you get that consciousness, national consciousness, an awareness of what your rights are, an awareness of what the evils in your political system deriving from imperialism are. The distinction between right and wrong. You stand by what is right. They have said might is right. That's the principle of the big enemies, the imperialists. Because we're power, whatever we do is right, because that is what power must be used. Whatever is done by us is right. We can go to one country after another, take it over, attack it, assault it, and draw its oil as Bush and Blair did in Iraq. We can do it again after Iraq, as they did in Libya, killing the leader of that country and part of his family. Might is right. But true Libyans and true Iraqis will say that is wrong. We will never